I'm Sarah, and at the age of 66, I had convinced myself that love was merely a memory. I had settled into the idea that my heart would never again dance with the youthful, carefree spirit it once possessed. However, everything changed when Ethan, a vibrant 20-year-old with bright eyes and grand ambitions, moved in next door. He was a living embodiment of who I had once been, and a reminder of the feelings I still secretly yearned for. I had no idea that our lives were destined to intertwine, igniting a passion that would forever alter our journeys. It was early spring, and the sun's warm golden rays began to melt away the remnants of winter. I was in my garden, nurturing my beloved roses, their sweet aroma wafting through the air and evoking memories from the past. Spring always felt like a chance for renewal. I relished each moment among the blooming flowers. Just as I was lost in my thoughts, a noise from the neighboring house jolted me back to reality. I glanced up to see a young man unloading boxes from an old car, his movements filled with the lively energy of youth. "Need a hand?" I called out, feeling an instinctive urge to connect with my new neighbor. He turned his head, revealing bright blue eyes that sparkled with a playful glint. "Just getting settled in. I'm Ethan," he responded, his smile infectious, sending an unexpected flutter through my chest. Were all young men this vibrant? The question seemed silly, yet it lingered in my mind, banishing the solitude I had grown accustomed to. "I'm Sarah," I introduced myself, feeling slightly flustered under his cheerful gaze. We exchanged waves, simple gestures that hinted at promise. As I returned to pruning, I remained acutely aware of the fresh-faced boy next door. His presence lingering in my thoughts long after he had stirred a part of me I believed was long gone. Days turned into weeks, and Ethan became a constant figure in my thoughts and daily life. I often watched him skateboarding, fiddling with his bike, or simply enjoying the sunshine. His carefree spirit was captivating, and my curiosity about him grew. I wondered what dreams and desires fueled his ambitions. Seeking excuses to strike up conversations became a habit for me. One warm Sunday morning, I noticed him grappling with a bike tire, his frustration evident as he struggled with the stubborn rubber. An impulsive urge to help propelled me across the yard. "Need some help?" I offered, creating an opening before he could respond. "Would you?" "I've never been good at this stuff," he confessed with a sheepish grin, scratching his head. His boyish charm took me by surprise. As I knelt beside him, I felt a thrill at our closeness. His hands were awkward but eager, and we spent the afternoon laughing and working together. It felt surprisingly natural yet exhilarating to be next to someone so much younger. I smiled more that day than I had in years. "Thanks, Sarah," he said, handing me a cold drink afterward, his eyes sparkling. "You make it look easy. It's just practice. Anyone can do it with time," I replied, though I felt an undeniable bond forming between us, a connection I hadn't anticipated. Ethan made me feel alive again, awakening parts of myself that had been buried under routine and resignation. As our meetings became more frequent, the barriers of age and experience began to blur. Our conversations grew longer, filled with shared interests and laughter. Talking to him felt so natural, as if we had known each other for ages. One afternoon we sat on my porch, the sun setting in a sky painted with shades of orange and pink. It felt like we were in our own little universe. "Where did you grow up, Ethan?" I asked, genuinely curious about the young man who had slipped so seamlessly into my life. He leaned back, gazing at the drifting clouds. "A small town a few hours from here. It was fine, but I always dreamed of being somewhere vibrant, where art and culture were cherished." "Art?" I asked, intrigued. "What kind?" "Mostly painting," he replied, his enthusiasm evident. "It's like expressing emotions without words. It feels as essential to me as breathing." "I used to paint too," I admitted, surprised by my own confession. "Life just got in the way. I haven't touched a brush in years." "You should pick it up again." "I'd love to see your work," he said, his face lighting up with excitement. That thought made my heart race. In that moment I realized Ethan saw something in me beyond just a neighbor. He recognized the potential that had lain dormant for far too long. As the weeks passed, our friendship deepened into something rich and unspoken. I caught fleeting glimpses of longing in his eyes, and the magnetic chemistry between us was unmistakable, innocent yet tinged with desire. One sun-drenched afternoon, After a light-hearted discussion about our favorite books, our hands brushed while reaching for the same one. The contact lingered just a heartbeat too long, and suddenly the atmosphere around us was charged with anticipation. My breath quickened as I found myself on the verge of something new, thrilling yet terrifying. "Ethan," I began, but my words faltered as I leaned closer, pulled by an irresistible, inexplicable urge. Our eyes locked, and he leaned in, his lips brushing softly against mine in a tentative kiss. It was filled with uncertainty yet ignited a fire within me, unfolding like the petals of a blooming flower. His lips were warm and unexpectedly gentle, sending shivers down my spine as I breathed deeply, savoring the moment. I pulled back, breathless and astonished by my own boldness and the overwhelming emotions swirling within me. I was a 60-year-old woman kissing a 20-year-old man. How could something that felt so seemingly wrong be so undeniably right? Doubts crept in, but the thrill of that kiss pushed them aside, if only for a moment. As the days transformed into an exhilarating whirlwind of emotions, I wrestled with the gravity of what had just happened. The excitement of our kiss lingered like a gentle echo in my mind, but so did the uncertainties. Could this blossom into something real? Would society's judgment overshadow our connection? One evening, I invited Ethan over for dinner, my heart racing with anticipation as I set the table. The thought of what might unfold next was intoxicating, heightening my senses. The soft clinking of silverware and the warm glow of candlelight created an intimate ambience when he finally arrived. His eyes brightened at the sight of the meal, and a rush of warmth washed over me. As we ate, we engaged in conversations about art and our dreams, with the chemistry between us strengthening with every passing moment. Yet beneath our joyful chatter, a sense of uncertainty simmered just beneath the surface. "Sarah," he finally broke the brief silence, his voice taking on a more serious tone. "About the kiss. Was it a mistake?" His question made my heart drop. "No, I mean yes, I don't really know." I stumbled over my words, trying to regain my footing. "It just surprised me." He leaned in closer, confusion mingling with a flicker of hope in his eyes. "Why can't it just be what it is? Sometimes a kiss is simply a kiss." "But we're not just two random people, Ethan," I countered. "There's so much more involved," I said. "I want you." He interrupted me, his voice steady and resolute, each word slicing through my fears. "I don't care what anyone else thinks." His declaration hung in the air, leaving me torn between longing and doubt. What if people find out? What if this turns into something more than just a passing summer fling? I voiced my worries aloud. "Then let's make it count, no matter what it leads to," he urged, leaning in closer, his determination shining in his eyes. Despite my anxieties, I felt myself increasingly drawn to him, captivated by his vibrant energy and enthusiasm for life. We began to explore the depths of our connection, allowing it to blossom as we embraced whatever came next. Our kisses evolved into whispered secrets, and our rising passion awakened something profound within both of us. One late afternoon, I proposed an impromptu visit to a nearby art gallery. Ethan's face brightened at the idea, and we spent hours immersed in the artwork, sharing thoughts and losing ourselves in each other's company. In a quiet corner of the gallery, a vibrant painting caught my eye, an exquisite landscape that seemed to resonate with my very soul. "Look at that," I exclaimed, nudging Ethan, my heart racing with excitement. He leaned in closer, studying the brushwork. "It's stunning," he remarked, glancing sideways at me. "Just like you." His words broke down my defenses, igniting a passion I had fought to keep at bay. We shared a silent moment, the bustling sounds of the gallery fading into the background. "Can I kiss you again?" he asked softly, his voice trembling with sincerity. I nodded, breathless, as he leaned in. Our lips met in a kiss that felt both exhilarating and tender. The kiss enveloped me, awakening a deep-seated longing that I had kept hidden for far too long. In that instant, I realized that age didn't define our connection. Our feelings did. As our relationship grew deeper, the physical aspect of our bond intensified. One evening after a long walk, we found ourselves back at my house, sharing a bottle of wine and discussing our lives. The conversation flowed effortlessly, but an undercurrent of tension was impossible to ignore. As the night progressed, our touches became more frequent and deliberate. Ethan gently reached for my hand, his thumb tracing my skin, sending delightful shivers through me. We inched closer, the space between us disappearing, and our lips met in a kiss that brimmed with a desire we could no longer suppress. This time we didn't stop at kissing. His hands explored the curves of my body with a tenderness that made me feel cherished and desired. I responded in kind, my hands exploring his warmth beneath his shirt. We lost ourselves in the moment, letting the outside world fade as we surrendered to the bond we had nurtured. However, reality has a way of intruding just when you think you've found your stride. One evening I attended a neighborhood gathering, an event I typically found comforting despite its predictable nature. But that night, I became the focus of murmurs and disapproval. Rumors swirled around me like a tempest. As I navigated through the crowd, I caught snippets of disparaging remarks regarding my relationship with Ethan. The sting of humiliation crept into my cheeks. "Did you hear? Sarah's with that young guy." A woman sneered, triggering laughter that felt like daggers. "How desperate can you get?" Another added, and my heart sank at their cruel words. Ethan quickly sensed my distress and made his way to the balcony, where I had retreated for a moment of peace. "It'll pass," he reassured me, concern etched on his face as he assessed the situation. "It's not just gossip, Ethan. What if it is?" I replied, my voice trembling with anxiety. "What if this is all just a fleeting fantasy?" He stepped closer, gently gripping my shoulders, grounding me with his touch. "It's not a fantasy if it's real to us. We can't allow others' opinions to dictate our happiness. I've been alone for so long. Maybe I'm just misinterpreting everything," I confessed, feeling exposed and vulnerable. "Then let's redefine what we mean to each other," he responded earnestly, his unwavering gaze anchoring me. "You mean more to me than what others say. Let's make this real." His conviction ignited a fire within me, strengthening my resolve. Perhaps love was worth fighting for, even in the face of judgment. As the days turned into weeks, our lives became more intertwined than I ever thought possible. Our kisses deepened, and we became partners not just in our relationship, but also in our journey of self-discovery. It felt like we were writing our own narrative, filled with chapters of passion, laughter, and freedom. One rainy Saturday we decided to stay in for a cozy afternoon of painting together, our laughter echoing in the living room. The colors on the canvas were as vibrant and chaotic as our emotions, a beautiful mess reflecting our deepening bond. Ethan mixed paints with enthusiasm, his youthful spirit shining through with every stroke. "You're incredibly talented, Sarah," he said, genuinely admiring my work. "You've taught me to see things from a different perspective, to look deeper." "Thank you, Ethan," I replied, warmth spreading through me. "You've rekindled parts of me I thought were lost." We drew closer, the tension between us almost tangible, and our lips met softly, the kiss evolving into something more intense. We reveled in each other's touch, cherishing the closeness that had become so valuable to us in that moment. Every kiss and caress felt like a sacred promise, igniting desires I thought had long since faded. "I don't want to hide anymore," I whispered against his lips, my heart racing as I spoke. "Then don't," he replied, his eyes gleaming with resolve. "Let's just be ourselves, however that may look." As winter settled in and snowflakes danced outside, we created a life steeped in love, harmonizing my wisdom with his youthful spirit. I felt invigorated, drawn to the joy and sweetness our relationship brought. Together we faced challenges openly, challenging societal norms to craft a new reality. One quiet evening during dinner at my place, I turned to Ethan, feeling a surge of courage. "Ethan, I care for you deeply, but I need to know, what do you see for us in the future?" He paused, his expression contemplative, as if considering the significance of my question. "I envision us navigating life together, learning about each other, and growing through whatever challenges come our way," he said. "You inspire me." His words resonated with sincerity. "What do I inspire you to do?" I inquired, eager to understand my impact on him. "To be fearless," he replied, his voice thick with emotion. "To seize control of my life and not shy away from what lies ahead." Tears filled my eyes at his heartfelt admission, and I reached across the table for his hand, feeling warmth spread through me, brightening the uncertainties that had clouded my heart. "If I choose this, it must encompass everything," I said softly, the weight of my words hanging in the air. "It can be," he reassured me, his smile illuminating the room. "I'm all in, Sarah. I want to build a life with you." As the months rolled on, our shared dreams began to take shape, evolving into something real and enduring. We chased sunsets, painted murals, and danced under the stars, creating a world filled with laughter and tender moments. One warm evening, we returned to our favorite spot, a serene hill overlooking the city. The view was breathtaking, the city lights twinkling below like stars, mirroring the hope and joy we had found in one another. Enveloped in his embrace, I felt a profound sense of peace that had eluded me for far too long. "I never expected to find something like this at my age," I admitted, gazing at the horizon where the sky met the earth. "Why not?" he replied, turning to me with eyes full of affection. "Love knows no age. Consider it a gift, Sarah. It's never too late to embrace something beautiful." I chuckled softly, comforted by his words and the warmth of his presence. In that moment, I realized that age held no bearing in the pursuit of happiness. It was simply a number, a concept that could never diminish the depth of our connection. As I leaned in to kiss him, the world around us faded into oblivion. His soft lips anchored me in the present, where we were merely Sarah and Ethan, two hearts entwined in a beautiful dance of love. By allowing myself to love a younger man, I discovered a world brimming with joy, laughter, and a profound emotional bond. When I looked at Ethan, I didn't merely see a younger reflection of myself. I saw a partner whose vibrant spirit and fresh outlook complemented my years of experience. Our relationship redefined love and companionship, celebrating the beauty of human connection. With Ethan, I uncovered a love that defied conventional boundaries, illustrating that passion knows no limits when hearts are willing to embrace it. As we walked hand in hand into the future, I realized that love in all its forms is something to pursue, nurture, and cherish irrespective of the years that separate us. Life had surprised me once more, and I was eager to embrace the journey ahead. Not just for myself, but for us together. Each day taught me to value not only the unpredictability of life, but also the exhilarating freedom that love provides. While age had imparted wisdom and left its marks, it was Ethan's youthful spirit that brightened my world, and together we envisioned a future teeming with endless possibilities. Ultimately, we found solace not in the judgments of others or societal expectations, but in the moments that ignited our hearts and uplifted our spirits. Love, I came to understand, is not bound by age. It is a timeless dance, an ever-evolving tapestry woven anew with every courageous embrace, rich with fresh experiences, joy, and laughter. As we continued to discover one another, Sarah and Ethan embarked on a journey where dreams knew no bounds, and where the heart triumphed over societal constraints. Our unique and beautiful love story stood as a testament to love's timeless essence. It served as a shining reminder that life's most significant connections often blossom in the most unexpected places. Together, we crafted a canvas of love, color, and passion, a masterpiece of existence unbound by time but inspired by the bravery to welcome transformation.